Hey guys, CJ back here with another video. So I haven't done just a commentary kind of video in a while. So a few days ago, about 5 days ago right now, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, even though I just was talking to him through comments. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick. But basically, he's legally blind. He wants to learn. He wants some tips on how to play COD and how to get into it, kind of being visually impaired. And so I'm gonna try and answer those questions. I'm gonna tell you right now basic tips. I mean, not really no-brainers because they're no-brainers now that I've been playing Call of Duty for a couple of years without my vision. But back when I started, I was like, what the hell am I doing? One tip I can tell you is if you don't have the money to get a decent gaming headset, a decent pair of like over-the-ear headphones of any kind should work good enough until you can afford a good headset. For the longest, I played with Beats by Dr. Dre, and they worked for me. The mic wasn't the best, but they worked. I played with those for the longest until I was able to afford my headset, and my headset's a lot better. I'll probably do it. Take a little picture of my little headset I have. It's not really little, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna start by saying if you're blind or visually impaired, if you have low vision of any kind, I'd recommend doing your best to get some sort of over-the-ear headphones. Whether they be Beats, Bose, doesn't matter what they are, as long as they're over the ear, because over the ear actually are more geared for surround sound, which is what you need when you can't really see the games. And that's one tip I can tell you is make sure you have a decent pair of headphones, and I mean headphones, not earbuds. Another tip I can tell you is whatever COD you play, say World War II, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, hell, even if you're on Xbox and you're playing Black Ops 2 or whatever, I would get Xbox just for Black Ops 2, honestly. It's worth it. That's my opinion, though. So, I'd say do your best research you can. What I mean by that is old gun reviews, gun guides, hell, even just some straight up gameplay with just the gun itself, so you can listen to the sound of the gun and get an idea for how it works and what it sounds like with certain attachments. Like it'll sound different with a suppressor. The reload sound will sound different when I have extended mags or fast mags. It'll sound different with rapid fire. It'll sound different with this or that. Hell, in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, when you had FNJ and MW3 you had Impact, which is basically FNJ, it sounded like you were shooting incendiary rounds, like fire rounds, basically. And that's a good way to tell, like, which gun you're using, what attachment, more or less. If you're playing some older CODs like Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, for example, I'm using those two as prime examples for some reason. I don't know why. The heartbeat sensor actually will make a little beep sound anytime someone's picked up on the heartbeat sensor, and plus the heartbeat sensor is like directly in front of you, like when it sweeps. So that way you can tell it's like, okay, they're in front of me. It doesn't tell you above or below, but you can tell, hey, there's somebody in front of me, so you can kind of be prepared. It's like, oh shit, On top of that, something like if you play Black Ops 2, like backward compatible on the Xbox One, the target finder site actually is pretty useful for those of us who are visually impaired for a couple reasons. One, there's a big ass diamond on any enemy. Two, when your crosshair is dead center on that enemy, it changes color from blue to red, so you can clearly tell, hey, that's a bad dude, if that big ass diamond didn't give you a hint. And on top of that, when you're highlighting them, it has an audio cue for when you're accurately targeting them, like you can actually hit them. And so, like, if you're blind and you're using target finder, you can actually hit people dead center as long as you have that target finder equipped. And if you're visually impaired, like to the point where maybe you need some glasses, or maybe you only have vision of one eye or something, target finder can help. Same with like thermal optics of some sort, thermal sights, stuff like that. I'm talking about old CODs. Okay, let's go to World War II. That's the current COD. Is the one we're all playing. Well, I'm sitting in the menu right now. I'm not really playing right now, but still. Let me start by saying World War II is not as simple as older CODs. You don't have awareness, which enhances enemy footsteps and sounds to crazy levels. You don't have things like Sixth Sense, which give you like an auditory ping anytime an enemy comes near you within like 5 or 10 meters. You don't have those are two crutch perks for being blind or visually impaired. Okay, you don't get that in World War II. In fact, they made the footsteps in one of the recent patches. They made the footsteps quieter, and you can hear them not at a very large distance like it used to be. So you can't really sound horror as good unless you have a decent headset or decent pair of headphones. You can still do it. You just need to realize that you're not going to be sound whoring as easily as you used to be in World War II. I'd recommend, if you're blind or visually impaired, I'd recommend using the infantry division. And my voice sounds weird right now. It sounds like something was stuck in my throat. That's weird. I'd recommend, first off, if you can do it yourself, turn the music off flat out. No music at all. That'll help a lot, so you can listen to footsteps, enemy gunshots, all that type of stuff. The battle chatter is good to keep on because those are your teammates. They call out enemies, they call out when they're reloading, they call out when they're being shot at, like different things. If you pay attention to your teammates, you can tell where enemies are at. And plus, if you pay attention to where your teammates are looking, or where they're spawning, based on where you hear their chatter coming from, then it's obvious, okay, the enemies are behind me, or this way, or that way. So if you play smart and you pay attention to where your teammates are at, like if you're in TDM or something, you can easily tell, okay, enemies are this way, so look that way. Now, free-for-all is a bit more tricky. Free-for-all, there's no battle chatter, because battle chatter only works on your friendly teammates. Well, duh, they're friendly teammates, duh. Unless you're playing hardcore. But so free-for-all, you don't get battle chatter, unfortunately, but you are able to easily listen to footsteps and stuff, because you don't have your teammates yelling in your ear every 2 seconds. I'm reloading, or whatever, So I'd recommend, if you're blind or visually impaired, I'd recommend start with infantry division, which will be the first one you choose, because it gives you when you level it up, you have the bayonet for rifles when people get too close, so you can just stab them like crazy if you need to. You have 3 attachments, or you have an extra primary attachment, so you have 3 attachments you can put on any weapon. You have extra magazines for extra ammo in case you miss, and you will miss a lot if you can't see the game, like me. And you also have faster movement while aiming down sights, which can be kind of helpful. One thing I like to stack this with is SMGs, because they have faster aim down sights movement anyway. So what I'll do is I'll crouch walk around everywhere with steady aim, rapid fire, extended mags, and I'll move ridiculously fast even though I'm crouched, because I'm aiming down sights with this faster movement speed while aiming down sights. And it surprises a lot of people. It's pretty damn funny when they die by it. It's like, holy shit, and I'm like, I win. So I'd recommend, if you're blind or visually impaired, I'd recommend starting on free-for-all, turn off the music, look up videos on YouTube or wherever, or have a friend who's patient enough to do this. Just go through the menus, go through the game, and listen to the different sounds of each gun. What they sound like, what it sounds like when you're bayonet charging, what it sounds like when you're loading incendiary shells and you fire them, what it sounds like when you're planting a bipod on your LMGs when you're using armor division, what it sounds like, just listen to the various sounds, and you'll understand which gun is which, like even with suppressed SMGs, I can tell which SMG is which, just based on the reload and the rate of fire. So it's not too hard to do that. Once you learn, of course. At first it's gonna be like, God damn it, I hate this shit. But at first, everything's hard at first. So on top of all that, let me think. What would I go? So headset or headphones, decent pair. The music, the battle chatter, I'd recommend keep on. Oh, the announcer. People say turn the announcer off. That's the guy who yells, "Oh, enemy paratroopers inbound, enemy care package, friendly care package." Or if they say we lost the lead or we gained the lead, whatever mode. I'd recommend, if you want to, turn them off. If you have enough vision to do it, turn them off. But if you have enough vision to where it's like, okay, I can't really see the screen very well, I'd recommend keep them on, because you can't tell all the time who's friendly and enemy care pack, or friendly enemy this or that. You can't always see, oh, we just lost the lead, shit. You know what I mean? So like, I'd recommend keeping them on. Another big, this is the biggest thing I can tell you. If you don't pay attention to anything, but you pay attention to one thing, remember, turn your vertical sensitivity, the sensitivity that makes it to look up and down, turn that as low as you can, and whatever COD you're playing, doesn't matter what one, turn it as low as you can, because that way you decrease your chances of missing by a lot. Because as you're running around turning left and right, your joystick might angle up a little bit or down. It might make you look up or down too far, and you might miss a lot of shots, shoot the ground, shoot the air, whatever. I had that problem a lot in Black Ops 3 because I didn't realize it at the time. I fixed it. I played a lot better. As well as pay attention to with the sounds of the headshots, so you can tell it's like, okay, I just got a headshot, cool. As well as the different sounds of each grenade. Each grenade has a different sound effect. They kind of sound, a lot of them sound similar, sound the same in World War II. For example, the sticky grenade, concussion grenade, gas grenade, and smoke grenade all have the same pin sound effect. And when you throw them, they sound a bit different. Each one sounds a bit different. For example, a smoke grenade sounds like a freaking care package smoke grenade. I mean, it makes sense. They're both smoke grenades, literally. A gas grenade sounds like a gas grenade. A concussion sounds like a concussion. Frag, sticky. Frag and sticky sound kind of similar. Satchel sounds similar. When they explode, of course, they're explosions. So, just pay attention to the sounds of the game, and you'll learn them quickly enough. I think what I can start doing is, if you guys are interested, if you are blind or visually impaired, you want me to start doing a video series where I just go through each gun in the game, how it sounds with or without different attachments, I can try and do that. This will be easier with like SMGs because you have suppressor and non-suppressor. So just let me know. I mean, those are my general tips for playing the game. For navigating menus, I would say just remember that when you first come into multiplayer, it puts you in a grid. So from left to right, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the bottom, it's 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3 to the left. That starts from the top left of the grid. One down, one right. That's bottom right of the grid, more or less. Bottom center, more or less. So it's basically like a little bar graph. And this is your main menu area for the multiplayer part. And if I hit L1, it brings me into this menu with 5 options. So I'm option 1, option 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm just going back and forth. And then very left, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this one is yet. So I'm going to go back R1 again. That's the 5 options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is back to the main menu thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then after that, so then you hit R1 after this main menu thing right here with this little like bar graph grid type thing. Hit R1 again. These are your classes. Don't press any buttons. Just hit right on the D-pad. Puts you right in your class. Listen. There you go. Now you're in your custom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 because I have prestige in this game. So chill out, Twitter. Jesus. Anyway, so I'm gonna go custom class 1 at the very top of the list. Now I'm initially right now I'm on the divisions. So hit X. I'm going to go to the top is infantry division. From the top, one down is airborne. Next one down is armored. Mountain division, expeditionary, resistance. I've never played resistance. I want to try it, but I'm worried that I'm just going to die a lot. So that's your basic overview of the menus when you're blind or visually impaired. It's a little trickier in a zombie because zombies, you have like all this mods and shit. I'm not even going to do one for zombies because first of all, I don't play zombies enough in World War II to actually care. I mean, if you guys want me to, I will. Not a big deal. So, those are basic overview. Guns, right now I'm using the M1941 Johnson, which is the first rifle you get, which is my favorite rifle. It's probably the best in my opinion when you run it with extended mag, steady aim, and high caliber, because you can annihilate the hell out of people. It's pretty dumb actually how quick you can kill people with it. Next you have the M1 Garand, which is a 2-shot kill. You have the STG-44, M1A1 Carbine, FG-42, Bard, SVT-40, Gewehr 43, and Volkstorm Gewehr. These are the last two I just said are just DLC guns. And one little tip is when you're going through the gun menus and the attachment menus, like to have a quick draw, foregrip, steady aim, whatever. When you tap up on the D-pad, I don't know if you can hear that. I'm sure you can, but it's just looping, right? Hold up or hold down. It will just stop at the very bottom or very top of the row, so you can count, right? So I'm gonna hold up. I'm at the top. I'm at the 1941 Johnson. 2 down is STG-44. Hit X, and then it will bring you to your variant screen. If you have any variants, just go down. It always starts you at the base variant. If you go down or up, it'll just whatever variants you have, it'll let you select them. Variants aren't really too important. I mean, unless you can see them. I mean, they look kind of cool, I guess. So then one to the right. So then again, where we're at, I'm going back to my custom one. Here we go. That's division, primary. This is attachment 1, attachment 2, hitting down on the D-pad once, attachment 3. Only reason I have 3 attachments is because I'm using infantry division. Of course, you can use primed, which is another basic training. So overall, I'm just rambling at this point. My main tips are, let's recap. Headset or headphones, no earbuds. I mean, you can run earbuds if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you're visually impaired enough to where you might need some assistance, look around to see if there's a colorblind mode or something to that nature. Just look around the settings, see what you can find in terms of audio, visual stuff. Turn off music. Make sure all the other sounds are turned all the way up as best you can, if you can handle it. If you can't, turn it down a bit. Make sure in World War II particularly your battle chatter is turned on if you plan on playing like TDM and kill confirm and stuff. That will help you identify enemies and friendlies. Do your best to research your gun sounds, the guns you want to use. I'm actually gonna go play some Shipment 1944 at the end of this little rant. And that's my general tips, is just music off, announcer and battle chatter on, other sounds all the way maxed out. Look up videos on each individual gun and what they sound like and stuff like that. If you have someone with sight who can help you navigate the menus so you can learn them and memorize them, that's something I gotta tell you, is when you're blind or vision impaired, you gotta memorize this shit. You can't just like, oh, I'll just hop in and do whatever. Find a gun that suits you and, you know, just play as best you can, you know. You can't just hop in and be like, oh, I'm gonna just do this game mode or whatever. Yeah, you can, but make sure you know what you're doing. You know, don't jump in and be like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, go through this menu, and you might turn off something that you might need, or you might turn something on you don't want. You know, just learn the menus, and you'll be, you know, have someone help you with the menus real quick. One thing that I did initially was I sent screenshots to people, and eventually I figured out the share play. Share play works pretty well, where it's basically like just a live stream just to the party, or if you choose, you can actually make it so you give your controller to someone else, like through the party. Basically, it's not physically giving the controller, but it's like they take control for a minute, and they can help you figure out the menus if you don't have anybody with vision to help you immediately. So those are the best tips I can think of right now. Like I said, if I remember right, I'll have a picture of my headset if you can see it, and you guys can see what kind of headset I use. For those who don't know, it's a Turtle Beach Recon Pro surround sound headset, and it was about $300-400, something like that, or maybe $250, something like that. It was kind of pricey. I mean, it's a headset. What do you expect? But right, it's just a simple plug-in jack adapter. It's just a headphone jack, basically. Pretty good sound quality to it, and the mic itself is pretty damn good too. I do like the mic. You can mute it, unmute it, whatever. It has its own custom volume slider, as well as adjustable earpiece things, like for your ears. And when your headset's brand new and it's not messed up like mine is, unfortunately, mine's a little messed up because I sat on it accidentally at one point. The headphone pieces completely cover your ears, so you can't really hear much around you, which, you know, can be kind of a bad thing, you know. But you know, if you're playing in the middle of the night, of course it'll be beneficial to have a headset so that we don't wake people up, and it works pretty well to watch movies as well. And just, you know, a little thing right there, watch movies, you know, watch movies. But I hope you guys did enjoy this. I'm actually gonna play some matches of Shipment till the end of this video recording. Maybe 1 or 2 matches, not too many. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And, you know, if you guys did find this helpful and educational, don't forget to share it. Like I said, you know, tell your friends, family, anybody who might be interested. I'm gonna attempt to do my best and try and kill some people at the end of this. So, goodbye.
Close applet. Sound devices. Volume. Adjust microphone level. Call of Duty. World War II.
Domination! Remember your training. Make us proud. Enemy control speed. Securing Beta. Enemy controls A. Taking B. Enemy contact at Kaiser. Enemy contact at Kaiser. Enemy taking A. Enemy capturing info. Enemy holds all positions. Correct the situation. Theater captured.
Call of Duty World. Help. Enter rest mode. Close application. Sound device. Call of Duty. Power. Music. Friends.
Losing objective
Customize.
Kaiser.
Broadcast. Notification. Online state. Custom. Reset to default. Broadcast. Upload. View new posts for your community.
Enemy contact at Bertha. Enemy taking B. Incoming enemy artillery. Get to cover. Enemy mortar fire incoming. Fall back. Losing objective Kaiser. Enemy taking C. Capturing A. Securing Bertha. Securing Bertha. Closing with Kaiser. Hold Kaiser. Capturing Bertha. Bertha locked down. Hopping split six stop. Enemy paratroops in the sky. Losing objective Kaiser. Enemy contact at Bertha. Good work. Prepare for the next advance.
Customize. Sort. Broadcast. Notifications. Notifications. 7 of 8. Close application. Call. Notifications.
Domination. Move out and take position. Hostiles inbound. Capturing Kaiser. Enemy controls A. Enemy bomber. Incendiary bombs incoming. Securing Bertha. C captured. Enemy capturing Kaiser. Kaiser's lost. Recon airborne. Anton locked down. Recon searching for targets. Enemy paratroopers in the sky. Enemy taking B. Bertha is overrun. bomber in the sky. Take cover. Enemy capturing Kaiser. Enemy recon aircraft in the air. Taking aim. Enemy territory surrounding. Taking B. Enemy contact at Anton. Enemy capturing Anton. Enemy bomber in the sky. Take cover. Taking B. Securing Kaiser. Mission on the way. Enemy capturing Kaiser. Enemy recon aircraft in the air. Securing Anton. Capturing Bertha. Taking B. Firing for full effect. Target zone locked. Enemy bomber. Incendiary bombs incoming. Closing Anton.